Alrighty, so the new car is here. One that I've been hinting at previously. Here it is. So what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 8. As you guys can see here, the car that I've been hinting at, saying that there was a new vehicle coming onto the channel, this right here is it. So it is a Mark V TDI Cup Edition 2010. And once again, this is the car that I've been talking about. I'm super excited to be doing a bunch of stuff with this car, and we're going to be making this thing look a little bit better. We're going to be doing some maintenance type of stuff to it as well, so going to be super cool. I'm super excited for what we have in store for this car, and let's go ahead and show you guys around it, explain the whole deal with this car, and really what the plans are. As you guys saw in the clip right there that we just showed you of the walk around of the car, you can see pretty much everything that's going on with it. So the biggest thing with this car, and really the part that makes this car the most unique, aside from the fact that it's a TDI Cup car, is the fact that this car only has 70,000 miles. Now, that's not, high miles in general, but especially for a TDI that tend to go somewhere sometimes between 300,000 and 400,000 miles, 70,000 miles is pretty much brand new for one of these cars. So that's definitely super cool, and that is one of the biggest things that this car has going for it. Now, another thing about this car is, and as you guys saw in the video when we walked around it, it does have the TDI Cup Car body kit. So the body kit consists of that sticker right there. It also consists of these side skirts that are on the side, and then the most important part of the whole entire body kit is the front bumper with the gigantic front grille. So this is also known as the Thunder Bunny bumper in sometimes, and as you can see, this thing, based on the size of my foot compared to this grille, you can kind of see how huge it really is. So a lot of people, sometimes these bumpers can be a bit controversial. Some people may like them, some people don't like them quite as much, and all comes down to personal preference. Me personally, I feel as though this front bumper is absolutely sick, and it's a really aggressive look on the front of these cars. I am definitely a fan. Along with the side skirts, I think they really work out with the car pretty well, and overall, I am just a general fan of these cars. Now, I am a bit biased as I have grown up with Mark Vs, so they have been my first cars, and I have always kind of had a appreciation for those, but the TDI Cup cars I have always found interesting. And if you want to know a lot more about that, there's a lot of information on the internet about how limited these cars are, what kind of things they were available with, and stuff like that. But that's the basic rundown, and the body kit is the biggest part of the car that really makes it unique. Now, if we go ahead and take a look inside the car, obviously, as I mentioned previously, we have these 70,000 miles on it. Now, also, you can hear the door chime, obviously, it's annoying, but also, this car does have the GLI interior, so that's pretty cool. That is a cup car thing. It also has the black trim on the doors. It has the aluminum style, if you can see with the reflection. Jeez. It says TDI Cup there, so that's kind of a big thing with the interior of it. And those are kind of a lot of what it has going for it. Now, it does have the DSG transmission, which some people, kind of is what it is. My personal opinion would be cooler if it was manual, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, so it is what it is. But all in all, also has the GLI brakes on it, so as you can see here with the red calipers. So now in this car, I do, as I mentioned previously, I don't have anything against red calipers, and in this car, that is one of those cases. I feel like the red calipers on a black car, it's a really good accent, and the red accents on the GLI seats as well in this car, they're definitely a good accent too. So all calipers don't need to be repaint, matched, and painted. And like I said, the red has its place, and in a car like this, I feel like the red has a great place. Now, that brings us to the actual subject of this video and the Vlogmas. Now, the real purpose of this video, obviously for Vlogmas, we have to install a part every day. That's like part of the whole deal. But obviously, there is a part that we have to install. I really wanted to just show you guys this car, introduce it to the channel, and give you guys a good walk around and rundown on it. So that was the primary real point of this video. But we do have a small modification to do to this thing, just because it was, like I said, we have to install a part every single day. So we're going to be doing that here today as well. This will be no different. Now over here, I didn't actually wrap this because it is so big part, and this is actually in preparation for some other modifications we have coming for this car. So when you see what this is, you're probably going to know, if you don't already know, if by looking at this car, when I'm saying I'm going to modify it, you probably know what I'm talking about. But once we put this part on, you're really going to understand what I'm hinting at here. Go ahead and drag this thing out behind here. Like I said, it is absolutely huge, and I already used so much wrapping paper on this project. Oh, that, didn't really want to use that much more. But in the box here, we have an ECS tuning street shield here, so this is going to be going underneath this car. And once again, like I said, this part here is kind of a dead giveaway as to what is going to happen with this car. But if you can't tell, I'm not going to tell you. So that mod and those modifications, there's multiple, they're going to be coming later on in the Vlogmas series, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to go ahead and throw this puppy sucker on here and get this installed once again. We're not going to need it right now because this car is pretty much a monster truck, but in the future, we are going to be needing it. All right, now you also may have noticed that I didn't really open the hood or show you anything under there, and that's because there's really nothing special to look at. This car, obviously with it having 70,000 miles, hasn't really had the opportunity to be touched by many people, so it is pretty much bone stock. Like, this thing doesn't have anything done to it, and obviously that's also why the suspension has not been tampered with yet, because people with taste would have done that. So, but in any case, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these bolts out. Fortunately, I thought I was gonna have to come across these bolts because this, obviously, if you don't know what that part is that we have to install today, it is a skid plate, and basically it goes underneath the oil pan and the transmission to protect it from hazards on the road, particularly when the car's oil pan becomes lower to the ground based on certain suspension modifications. So when you have that on there, it protects the oil pan, and as you guys know, I know just about everything about smashing oil pans, especially if it's a 1.8 turbo. I specialize in that. But if basically the purpose of the skid plate is to just protect that, and basically you smash the skid plate, you don't smash your oil pan, and saves you from having a bad day. So I really should have these on some of my other vehicles, but we're going to put this on this car preventatively, so we're not going to wait till it's actually a problem. We're going to put it on before it's an issue. So that's good stuff. It's preventative maintenance. When I said we have preventative maintenance for this car, that's what I was talking about. So now I got those bolts out. I'm going to go ahead and grab this gigantic piece of metal that is actually quite heavy. And probably going to be pretty unpleasant to install because it does just slide on here, but it's pretty heavy. It's kind of generally awkward. So I have customers, and now here I am doing the same thing, but when I have customers come into the shop with these things on their cars, I complain about it. I still take it off, obviously, but I complain about it. And now here I am. I'm the problem. I'm putting these things on my cars now, so are they really that out of line then? Alright, so this thing is more, it isn't any more or less stupid than I remember it, because that was a pain in the butt to get these bolts to line up, but we have now figured it out. I'll just go ahead and tighten them down here, and then, like I said, it's pretty simple install. That's why the main purpose of this video, truthfully, was to just show you guys this car and introduce it to the channel, because obviously, this right here, we already got it installed, so not really a very big deal, not a difficult modification, but nonetheless, it is a modification, and for Vlogmas, we're putting a mod on every single day, so here's our modification for today. As I put these in, I figured I'd show you guys this neat little tool that I just got. This thing is actually pretty sick. It's a 1/4 inch impact, but the thing, I mean, as you can see, based on the size of my hand, the thing is very, very tiny, but it's super awesome because it is still an impact, so it does have some decent torque. However, that one's being a pain, but this thing has some pretty decent torque, but it's really nice because it's super light. So for doing things like putting the screws back into fender liners and things of that nature, which I do quite often, this thing is definitely going to be very, very handy to have around for stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I figured I'd just show you guys that tool as I'm putting it together because I'm using it to put this thing back together. Alrighty, so there you guys have it. There is the wonderful skid plate here that we have installed. This thing is this thing is definitely pretty sturdy and pretty strong, so definitely going to be a good thing to have once we have this car a little bit closer to the ground. Worthwhile modification. We're not really going to notice it on the car, which is a good thing. We shouldn't ever really notice it, but we're going to notice it if we don't have it. So definitely a solid thing to put on here, and I'm super excited for what's to come and why that modification is very important. But either way, modification is now complete, and that is pretty much going to be a wrap on this video. So, like I said, super simple modification, super easy, but it is still a mod, and we have now introduced the TDI Cup car to the channel, and we do have a bunch of things coming for this car, and there is an issue with this car that we're going to be fixing, not in this Vlogmas series. It's going to be probably sometime in January, I would assume, but there is an issue with that car. Once again, we'll get into all that stuff later on, but as of right now, you guys now know what this car is, and when I bring it on to do the modifications later on in Vlogmas, you guys are going to know all about this car. So that's going to be a wrap on this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys like the new car and are excited to see what we're going to be doing with it. I'm definitely very, very excited for what we're doing, and I hope you guys are as well. But in any case, that is going to be a wrap on this video. I hope that you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. One other thing. This car sounds pretty cool, too. Figured I'd go ahead and start it up for you and show you guys what I'm talking about. Golly jeez. Apparently not. Alright, well, guess this is what we need here. Go ahead and make that thing do stuff. Now hopefully we should be good. Oh yeah. Phone stop. Alright, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.